In this demonstration, we're going to look at implementing containers in Windows Server 2016. Containers provide an isolated operating environment that we can use to provide a controlled and portable space for an application. Container space provides an ideal environment for an application to run without affecting the rest of the operating system and without the operating system affecting the application itself. And containers enable us to isolate apps from the operating system environment. What we're also going to install as well is we're also going to install Docker. And Docker is a collection of open source tools, solutions and cloud-based services that provide a common model for packaging or containing or containerizing application code into a standardized unit for software deployment. What we've done at this point here is we've come to one of our Windows Server 2016 boxes and we've come into PowerShell. And the first thing we're going to install at this point here is we're going to install our NuGet package provider. NuGet is a free and open source package manager designed for the Microsoft development platform. So the first thing to do is to actually install this package provider. And the command that we're going to issue is install-package provider space -name space NuGet space -force. And the next thing we're going to install now is we're now going to install Docker. So we'll just clear the screen off, just to make this a little bit easier to read, and then what we'll do is we'll issue the commandlet to install Docker. And the command that we're going to use is install-module space -name docker msft provider space -repository ps gallery and then space -force. Next thing we'll do here is we'll just also install the package. And we'll issue install-package -name space docker space -provider name space docker msft provider. At this point here, we'll select yes. And we'll hit the enter key. Next thing to do is just to do a restart, and then what we'll do is after we've restarted, we'll install and configure a container. So at this point here, we'll just pause the presentation and return back after the restart has completed. Our server's now restarted, so the next thing we're going to do here is we're just going to run a PowerShell commandlet that will allow us to search the Docker Hub for Microsoft container images. And to do that, we're going to use the docker search Microsoft command. And what we'll do is we'll just hit the enter key. As we can see, it's now returned back a list of Microsoft Docker repository images. And the one we're interested in here is we're interested in the IIS. So we'll just clear the screen off, and all we'll do at this point here is we'll just issue the commandlet to download the IIS image. And what we're going to do at this point here is we're going to do a docker space pull space Microsoft /IIS : Windows Server Core. Now this will take a few minutes, we're downloading quite a bit of data, so at this point here we'll just hit the enter key, and then what we'll do is we'll pause the presentation and wait for the download to occur. Files have now downloaded, so the next thing we need to do is actually deploy our new container. So what we'll do is we'll just clear the screen off, just make it a little bit easier to read. And then what we'll do is we'll just issue the command to actually run our IIS Windows Server Core as a container. And the command we're going to run is docker space run -d. So the -d means run this as a background service, and what we're going to do is we're also going to configure it by using -p 80:80. So what this means is it configures the networking such that port 80 on the container hosts through to port 80 of the container itself. And what we're going to do at this point here is we're then going to run our Windows Server Core. And that's the container now running. Next thing we'll do here is we'll just run an IP config. And on the IP config, what we're looking for here is just looking for our Ethernet adapter, HNS internal NIC, so we can see we've got an IP. And if we just run a docker space ps, what we should see here is we should see all the processes associated with Docker. So what we can see at this point here, if we have a look down here, so we can see the ports, we can see the container ID, see the ports just down here, see the image name, so we've got Windows Server Core. If we scroll this across here, we can see the command, we can see it was created 4 minutes ago and it's actually been up for 4 minutes. And that's the end of this demonstration of using containers with Windows Server 2016. Thank you.